Hi there, it's Robin from Canberra Body Harmony School. Just taking a little moment just to relax and refresh. And what I'm thinking about and talking about this morning is the difference between procrastination and percolation. They can look very similar. They can look very similar when they're happening. A lot of people come in and say, oh yeah, I procrastinate a lot. So what's the difference between procrastination and percolation? So the first thing is, for me, procrastination is when you know there's something that you've got to do, but you're avoiding doing it. It's like everything is, even though you go, that's what I need to do, this is what I need to take action on, you're finding everything else that you need to do. Then there's the case of percolation. And in percolation, you may not actually be taking the action on the thing that you're thinking about yet, but I think there's a very different process that's happening. In percolation, what I find is that you've got ideas bubbling away and bubbling up, and you're working towards a solution to a problem. So I think that gives us a key to some of the differences between procrastination and percolation in the first place. So procrastination tends to be that you know that there's something you've got to do, but there's an expectation that you've gathered around it. So you're responding or you're behaving from the place that there's going to be a certain outcome or a certain problem by actually doing it. Even though there may be a beneficial outcome by doing the thing that you need to do, it's like there's a part of you that's going, I don't want to do that because it's going to hurt. Now, that may not actually be the truth, but that's sort of the way that it's acting. So you put it off and put it off. It might be that the project, listen to those birds going past. It might be that the project is just too big and you haven't been able to break it down into small enough tasks. So you haven't got a step-by-step process to be able to do it. It might be that you're expecting that it's going to be difficult or it's going to be hard. So it's a lot of what's happening with procrastination is that there's an expectation. I find that percolation is a very different process. It's a little bit like just sitting out here at the moment with on my front deck, enjoying the birds. And what I'm doing while I'm percolating this morning is I've got a problem that I'm thinking about, that I'm working through. And for me, it's like a question. It's a how do I question. It's like there's a result that I'm after. How do I get this result in my business? So this is sort of what I'm thinking at the moment. Like it's a marketing question I'm thinking about. So it's like, how do I get this sort of result? So it's a much more curious and inquisitive and inquiring process where I've got an outcome that I'm looking for. This is the result that I'm after. But instead of going, oh, it's too hard, which leads to that procrastination mindset, I'm coming from the place of, how do I do that? What are the steps? How can I make that happen? And this sends my reticular activating system, which is the part of my brain which is searching out for solutions. Now, just like when those birds flew past, it's like my mind was taking in, it's a fairly quiet day, it's fairly calm, but my mind is, even though I'm talking to you guys, there's these other things that my mind has been thinking about it or taking in as I'm talking to you. So the reticular activating system is one of those things. So while I'm in this percolating mode, I'm also on the lookout for beauty and that sort of thing. So it's so pleasurable for me to hear those birds in the background. And this is the same thing when you've got a problem in your business or in your life that you're trying to work through and trying to solve. By asking the question and putting the question out there, you're giving your body the chance to go, well, how do we solve this problem? And all of a sudden there's solutions that start coming to you. It's like you notice the things that are going to help you and support you in that. And this is what I call percolation. And it's a much more productive and a much more easier and a much more enjoyable process than procrastination. And what I find is in the percolation process is that it becomes easy to make a step at some point. So just as what's been happening for me this morning, I've had this sort of percolation process happening. And it's like, okay, this is the next step that I need to try. And I guess what's really good for me is that the next step that I take, it's like I'm not running with that expectation of, oh, I'm going to fail or it's not going to work, any of those sorts of things. It's much more a case of like, well, how about I try this? And it gives me an action to take, and then I can test it and see whether it's giving me the outcome that I want. So that gives a very different relationship to the problem to if I'm sort of going, oh, and procrastinating, go, oh, I need to do this thing, how do I do it? I can't do it, it seems too big, it seems too troublesome, and that sort of thing. So I hope that helps you. So one of the things I'm going to suggest to you, if you're just been procrastinating on something, try reframing it. So the steps that I gave you just then were the asking the question, reframing the question, so working out what your outcome is, working out how you want to do that, set that up as your question, your curiosity, and then to let that percolation process start. If you want to know a little bit more, I'm creating a blog post at the moment on that. Just click at the bottom and I'll take you to the blog post about procrastination and percolation, and you can try it out and then give me a response and let me know how you go. If you've liked this, I suggest you share it to other people, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Cheers. Bye.